Now, you have a healthy contempt for the fame game. You're not part of the celebrity circuit. But now and again, fame can come in pretty handy. And you're using yours to make a serious difference about something we both feel very strongly about, abandoned dogs. Tell us what you've done.
Well, during lockdown, I was doing these little broadcasts just on Twitter Live for a laugh. The joke was that I was Winston Churchill getting us through the war.
Yeah, I watched a few of them,
yeah. Yeah. And I just chat to people who want to listen. And I always have a little beer. And I mentioned what I was drinking, which was BrewDog. It's a vegan beer. I love it. And I said, they should pay me for that. And I went, oh, no, I don't really do those things that are sponsored. And I said, well, what they could do is give some of it to charity. And I forgot about it. And they got in contact and went, oh, thanks for the shout out. We're going to give $5,000 to this one for, oh, this is good. This is easy as that. And then we got into sort of more serious talks, and they came up with this Street Dog, where 100% of the profits are going to be split with two charities, Dogs on the Street and All Dogs Matter. And I just think it's a great idea. So if you drink beer, drink this beer, and all the money goes to saving homeless dogs and rehoming them, which is, I mean, it's a win-win. I love beer. I love dogs. I love talking for the sake of it. So
yeah, thanks for that. I'm glad you're talking for the sake of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Show us that, really. Ricky. Show us that tin again, because it's got the picture of a dog with a kind of appeal to give that dog a home, hasn't it?
Yeah. They're showing what they do. They're showing what the charities do and who you can save. I mean, it's just there are thousands of dogs, so they did it as an example. Yeah. But the important thing is I think they already do quite a bit for charity anyway, and there are just a couple of guys who started this company and it took off, and I think they're just giving a bit back, which is just amazing. And so, but you're right, yeah, that is definitely the best thing about fame and Twitter. I've said that before.
Yeah.
The best thing about Twitter, if you're involved with something like this, is the fact that 20 years ago, it would take you years standing outside a supermarket getting signatures to, some sort of petition.
Yeah.
And now you can do, and that's the magic number, by the way, 100,000 signatures. It gets heard in Parliament. And I've been a part of 20 to 40 campaigns over the last 10 years where the law has been changed, because, you can mobilize people, particularly if you've got a lot of followers and they know you mean it. So that you're exactly right. That is the best thing about it. I sort of think that this is my job now through pandemic. I should be writing stuff. I should be acting or whatever. But this is my job. And everyone knows that I'm going to leave all my money to dogs anyway, just to see the look on my family's faces. So, yeah.
I mean, it's a brilliant thing you're doing. I want to blow my own trumpet a bit, because you and I, of course, we've seen each other at All Dogs Matter events. I do what I can myself for that charity. And I've actually, for the Dogs on the Street charity, I ran a half marathon. You can't beat that, can you?
No, I can't. I've never done that. And I saw you running the other day.
There you go.
Yeah,
you see?
No, I've never done anything as ridiculous as a half marathon, let alone a real marathon.
Yeah.
I'm more of a sprinter,
like a 10-yard sprint. Yeah.
I can't lose my muscle with too much cardio or fat burning, because
The thing is, Ricky, to get serious for a second, the thing about what you've done with this beer, Street Dog, everybody should go out and buy it. You're quite right. I've already put in an order, and hats off to BrewDog for doing this, and to you, and to Peter Egan. But the thing is, there is actually a bit of an escalating crisis right now in terms of abandoned dogs, because loads of people went out and bought dogs or took dogs in during the lockdown because they wanted a bit of company. And now the lockdown's over, the heartless so-and-sos are just dumping them. They're getting rid of them, or they're trying to sell them. You know, so
but
all of
there's always a problem. It will never end. All you can do is your little bit. It will never end, right? Until the whole world is vegan and we stop killing things for fun. You know, it will never end. There'll always be crises like this. But it wasn't just that people were adopting them and then giving them away. It was that at the beginning of the pandemic, people were giving theirs away because they were worried about their own survival. So animals always last on the list. So there's always a problem. Wherever you just open a new door, you know. So it's fantastic. But you know what? It's a joy trying. It is depressing, and sometimes I go, oh, I can't cope with this. And you think, of course you can, you know. And you've just got to be pragmatic. You've got to go, well, if everyone did a little bit, it would all be over. And there's things that there are results, you know. Yeah. There are some things that you can cure, like, you know, bile bears in
which Peter does a lot of work for. Yeah,
exactly. That could be a result. They could end that, you know. So it's not just there'll always be this or there'll always be some things you can actually stop. You could stop bullfighting tomorrow. You know, you just could. And a lot of people already have. And I think that's another great thing about social media. People become more aware about things because a lot of it was ignorance. There are still some people that don't even think animals have feelings or are sentient, or they think they're inanimate objects. They kick them and punch them and they use them, they skin them alive. They don't think they don't know, you know? And you have to educate, you have to make people have empathy. You have to make people know that some people still think it's cute to have their picture taken with a lion. They don't know that lion is being tamed to then be shot by some sort of rich American dentist. They don't get it. They see the dolphins having fun at SeaWorld. They're being tortured. They're slaves being tortured for fish. They should be out in the ocean. People don't know that. They have a cute elephant ride. They don't know the elephant has been beaten into submission so some fat idiot can sit on it. They don't know this. So the great thing about this is we can tell people, and then it's up to them to still do it. Some people don't know what fur coats are. They don't know that 100 chinchillas have been tortured all life, then anally electrocuted and skinned alive. So tell them, if they still wear the fur coat, well, then we've got a problem. So it's all about education, really.
Yeah, that's why I appreciate you coming on, because in our small way here at Talk Radio, we can get the message out. And as you know, I never miss an opportunity to pollute the Talk Radio airwaves with my animal welfare message. And you're really helping on that front, obviously, and so does Peter. I mean, I'm lost in admiration for the amount of work that guy does for animal welfare.
Oh, he's off the charts. He actually does it. I'm a loud mouth. I've got a lot of followers and I give some money. He does all that and gives money and goes to China. You know?
Yeah, I know he does. He goes around the world. Yeah. So, can you, going back to what you were saying about the way people are so heartless about animals, can you get inside? I cannot get inside the head or the mindset of people who buy a dog. Or they take a dog in and then 3 weeks later they go, oh, I don't really like that dog. Let's just chuck it out.
Yeah, I mean, I heard a story today about someone that had a cat for 13 years, but they got a puppy, but the puppy didn't get on with the cat, so they're giving the cat away. And it blows my mind. It blows my mind. I see people just leaving them abandoned. You know, people put litters in the bin. At least drop them off at a shelter or something. I've never understood it, you know. And sometimes, you know, as I say, it's a sliding scale. Some people don't know what they don't know what they're buying at the supermarket. They don't know what goes into it. And then there are people that actually enjoy it. They actually enjoy torturing and hurting an animal. And you know, I've never understood it. I've never understood it on any level. But that you know, at the top end of it. That willful joy of seeing an animal in pain, I just don't get it. And then there's stupid things like black cats are last to be rescued. Do you know why? Not superstition even, right? Which is bad enough. It's because they don't take good selfies on Instagram.
I tell you, one of my other dogs, Dottie. They couldn't find her a home, and we took her in because she wasn't a smiley dog. She had a sort of quite a grim or looking glum face, but she turned out to be an amazing dog. And that dog, because it had a glum face, no one would take it in, and it was within 2 hours of being put down at the pound. And when it turned up at our house, it was the saddest thing he ever saw. It had all it had in the world, all she had in the world, was a tennis ball, and she wouldn't let that tennis ball go for about 3 months. But it was because she was a great-looking dog, actually, but she didn't look right for what seems to be the aesthetic that people are looking for in animals. They want smiley, cute little creatures. They're all the same.
I don't get it. I don't get a happy dog. Any dog is a joy for me. I wish we could bottle it. It cheers me up. As you know, I go walking every day, and I scruffle about 50 dogs. I know so many by now. It's like my heroin. It keeps me going throughout the day. I highly recommend it. Just it's a privilege for me. For a dog that comes over and likes me, honestly, I'm giddy. It's just so beautiful. A dog, and all animals. We should say all animals are unconditionally beautiful and perfect. And I don't know why we don't treasure them more and know what a privilege it is to be on the planet with them, because we are animals. We are great apes. We're not above nature. We're part of it. Yeah. We're not even the most important. We're not in the top million most important species. Just about every single bees. You know, honestly, it's mind blowing, and we're nothing without them, and we're just no better. And if we're not kind to all species, we're worse. I don't know an animal who tortures other species for a laugh. That's true. I just don't. There isn't one.
So Peter Egan told me that he got into animal welfare when he first got his first dog, a rescue dog. By the way, folks, if you're going to get a dog, get a rescue dog. And he looked into the eyes of that dog and felt that connection that we all get when you look at a dog, when you're with a dog, when you commune with a dog. And he said it changed his life, and that's why he is so into animal welfare and that sort of.
I totally agree. Everyone knows I'm an atheist. I don't believe that we have a soul. But if there was such a thing as a soul, a dog would have one first. There's no doubt about it. I've never seen anything more soulful than a dog. They do everything for us. They guard us. They guide us. They can smell cancer. They're teaching them to smell COVID.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
It's how. Why are we not worshipping these creatures?
So we've got to. The good thing about the street dog beer is, as you say, all the proceeds go to these two great charities, Dogs on the Street and All Dogs Matter, and they're both strapped for cash at the moment, as are many charities. But they are because they have escalating vets fees because the dogs that they do take in are often in a terrible condition, and they have to get them seen to, and of course that's expensive. Just generally, because of the lockdown, they haven't had much coming in. So that's another thing I'd like to urge the listeners to go out and buy street dog beer for, because these great charities need money, and that's important, isn't it?
I've also had another idea that I want to talk to the tech companies about, like either Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. When I'm doing these live things and I send a tweet out and you send a thing and a donate here, and you know there's a drop off. I wish there's a thing where if people were campaigning that you could touch the screen to give £1.
Yeah.
There's someone must be able to, honestly, it would be 10 times the amount of money. And you just ask for £1. So it was no skin off their nose. but I think it would be absolutely 100-fold if people could just touch the screen and forget about it. I've given £1.
That's a great
and
idea.
Tech companies must be able to do that. They must be able to do it.
Well, I'm looking at a room full of techies now. I'm going to get them on the case right away.
Okay, sort that out.
By the end
I'm
of
like
tonight.
Steve Jobs. Do that.
By the end of this evening, I want that system up and running. Just before you go, Ricky, we just spoke about how Peter Egan got into animal welfare. Where did you get your great love of animals from? Did you have dogs when you were a kid?
I don't know. Yeah, I was born into it. As I was born in, we had a cat and a dog growing up, and each one of those, I got a new one. I've always been around them. They were always part of the family. Did I tell you the story about my brother when I was little that taught me a life lesson? My brother was he's 10, 11 years older than me, and he was already in his 40s. He had a couple of kids, and the kids came running in to my mum, and they went, Nan, Daddy just punched a man in the face and knocked him over in the park. And my mum was horrified. And my brother Bob came in, and she went, did you just beat up a man in the park? And my brother went, yeah, he kicked the dog. And my mum went, oh, all right. So I knew.
Is Bob still around? Because I want to salute him right now. What a great guy. This is my kind of guy. Well done, Bob. Just before you go, last question. What are you up to now? I mean, when I bumped into you the other day, you said you'd done 1 day of voiceovers, and you really objected to it.
I resented it
because you're.
This is like my retirement this last 3 months, and the weather's been great. I'm writing series 3. I'm halfway through. I'm very excited about that. It's going to end there, and I'm putting everything into it. I'm working on an animated movie. Which is a remake of Blazing Saddles, but cool. An animation. It's with cats and dogs called Blazing Samurai. What else? I'm still working on my live tour, which has been postponed. Of course, yeah. Hopefully that it's going into next year already now, called Supernature. And I'm doing my I'm most of all, I'm really enjoying my stupid half hour for free talking to a load of idiots.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm one of the idiots. I'm watching it.
Oh, sorry. Thanks for listening.